Andy Warski is being a little bitch. That's the title of the video that I'm responding to today. I'm not a raving Andy Warski fan. I do subscribe to him, yes, but I'm only a borderline Warski fan. You can say what you want about him. Andy went on a rant recently about YouTube, about how he's going to be more rude and more brash and more vulgar than in the past, because he has nothing to lose. Theryn Meyer thought he was just throwing a tantrum. Now, I've always liked Theryn, but this time, she is dead wrong.
And I totally get Andy's heated emotions in this video, but his behavior is just kind of cringeworthy to me.
YouTube, do you see what your liberal agenda has done? Because I'm the truth! And you're trying to silence the truth? Go fuck your mothers, YouTube.
Andy joins the ranks of a lot of anti-SJW YouTubers who seem to think there's a coordinated attack on them specifically from a bunch of PC higher-ups at Google. And yes, there definitely is a political bias at the company. We all know that by now. But the driving force of the adpocalypse is not politics. It's money.
You know, I've heard that before. But what is it exactly that she's trying to convince us of? That it isn't political, it's greed, and somehow that means it's not as bad? So what if it is money? That doesn't make it any better. I don't care if it's greed or cowardice instead of politics. The fact is that a lot of creators are being financially disincentivized. And strangely, Theryn seems sympathetic to Google and their advertisers.
YouTube is currently facing a near $1 billion ad boycott from advertisers who don't want their ads viewed next to you calling Francesca Ramsey a cunt for 5 minutes straight.
So they don't want their ads playing alongside Andy calling Francesca a cunt for 5 minutes straight, huh? Well, whether she meant to or not, what Theryn is implying there is that the adpocalypse is somehow the fault of edgy content creators. They should tone it down and play it safe. I don't think so. And besides that, anyone who thinks that loud and brash YouTubers are somehow advertiser unfriendly is not living in the real world. Because in the real world, Grand Theft Auto 5 can gross $1 billion in 3 days. It's loud, it's brash, it's politically incorrect, it's filled with cursing and racial slurs. When the mainstream embraces edgy content, they do pretty well.
Andy goes on to tell us that now that he knows his videos won't get demonetized, he's done playing it safe.
So what you have done is made me say, you can go fuck your mother. And now the gates of hell are open. You're making us just gonna be way more horrible. Good job, YouTube. You thought the SJWs were getting fucked before? Oh, because now I don't give a flying fuck. What are they gonna do? YouTube, you can suck my fucking dick.
This really just comes off like a brattish toddler just flinging his toys out of the crib. Kind of like, you know, an entitled SJW who's never learned any negotiation skills beyond throwing tantrums.
Ooh, is he acting like an SJW? Even if I did think Andy was just being an asshole, that would still piss me off. People throw that around so easily. But saying I will not play by corporate rules is not SJW.
Since the outcry of a demonetization, YouTube has stated that it's trying to fix the situation by speeding up the appeals process for videos that have been unfairly demonetized and by fixing the bug that causes large troves of a single channel's videos to be demonetized. In other words, YouTube listened and is making changes to a broken system.
And she trusts YouTube because of this little promise? After everything they've done, YouTube will shut down an entire channel with no warning. YouTube will remove a movie review because it's hate speech. And so what if they do speed up the appeals process? That's not going to help Andy, not if Theryn's right. Because
YouTube is currently facing a near $1 billion ad boycott from advertisers who don't want their ads viewed next to you calling Francesca Ramsey a cunt for 5 minutes straight.
Remember? The cursing bad attitude contributed to the adpocalypse. So that's irrelevant to Andy's rant. And that's by Theryn's own assessment.
And you know, now is exactly the time to negotiate the best possible solution, because that's exactly what this comes down to. A negotiation between the needs of YouTube and the needs of their content creators.
You want to negotiate? With Google? With YouTube? how do you propose to negotiate with them? What do you envision? Are we going to form a union? Get some collectivized bargaining on the table? Do you have any idea how ridiculous that is? The anti-SJW community of YouTube is a very small thing. We have nothing to offer them. Gaming channels and fail compilations, those channels might have some muscle. But us? YouTube will ignore us. And even if they didn't, what difference would it make? What is a deal with the Empire worth?
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This is a negotiation that you can't even begin. And even if, by some miracle, you made some gains, what good would that do you? You would lose those gains the moment that Google would decide to turn on you.
Instead of throwing fits and threatening to leave the platform and abandon viewers altogether, we should be taking this time of difficulty to improvise and be creative.
Instead of leaving the platform. Did she really just say that? Does she know what negotiation is? Negotiation is dealing from a position of strength. It is not running to the powers that be with your hat in your hand, begging them for whatever concessions they're willing to make. The content creators that are moving their content to other platforms are creating the position of strength that her negotiation fantasy would require. Not that I think it would work, but that is her only hope. Besides that, fostering competition amongst various video platforms can only be good for everyone.
Be creative, reinvent our business models, and diversify our online presence.
Diversify our online presence? By utilizing other platforms, maybe? And reinvent our business model. How? By dancing to YouTube's tune?
Look, you can't take away people's right to be assholes.
Let me tell you, I'm worse than Andy by far, because I am going to urge my audience, as small as it is, to watch my videos on VidMe instead of on YouTube. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video and all of my future videos to my VidMe account. Subscribe to me there. Subscribe to me and anyone else you can find there. And always check VidMe for new content before you check on YouTube. And watch there first. That's what I've gotten in the habit of doing. Should we negotiate with YouTube? Or should we fight YouTube? In the words of Magnus, no. You want my advice? Move.